Good morning, mothers. I hope you're all having a fabulous Mother's Day. Go ahead, ask me. No, it's fine though. We're going. Week 2, starting week 2. I'm super excited. Met with a lot of you guys last week. Some great questions. I'm just going to answer a few of those questions really quick. That will also be in your email that's coming as soon as I finish this video. The first was on the cardio that I sent. Do you have to do all of them or do you have to do the HIIT cardio? No. Please no. Pick one of those forms of cardio, maybe 2. Or a couple of you have your Peloton or you ride your bike daily. I haven't added the bike to the cardio plan, but you're going to pick 1 or 2 of those forms of cardio. And then our goal is to scale it in the next 5 weeks. So you're going to want to stick with 1. That way we can see those marked improvements in stamina and intensity. If we're like oscillating between all 4 of them, we're not going to be able to track our progress very well. So pick 1 or 2. 1 is fine. Doesn't need to be 2. 2 if you tend to get bored. And then make sure you're progressing with the program throughout the weeks. Recipes are coming on this week's nutrition plan. They're already on there. I literally just have to push send on the email. I'm hoping that you'll be able to click the links because it's like a hyperlink. I'm going to just double check to make sure it does that. But if there's any issues there, no worries. I have the links. I can just send them out to you. Hopefully this is just a little bit easier. Give me some feedback on how you thought last week was, how the meals went for you, how you felt about it, how you're feeling physically, if you're noticing anything different. I want to hear all the things. But then to get started, it wouldn't be me if I just got everything right. And so last week was supposed to be goal setting and this week was supposed to be self-talk, but they're both a little bit interchangeable because it's great to start out with the right frame of mind. But this week talking about goal setting is super important because we could have all the belief in ourselves in the world. We could, have all the follow through in the world. But if you set the wrong goal, you can set yourself up to fail no matter what you're willing to do to get to that goal, right? And so when setting goals, there are a couple principles that really are important. And I don't know if you're in like corporate world at all, they always talk about like SMART goals. And I hate it now because I learned about it and then you just hear it everywhere. Sometimes the things just get a little bit cliche and obnoxious. But SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. And the few of those that are really important to me is attainable and relevant. Jeez, it's fine. I'm fine. Because specific and measurable are easy enough, right? Most people like, I want to lose 15 pounds, or I want to be able to run a Spartan race, whatever it is. Most people tend to be relatively specific when it comes to their fitness goals, if not incredibly specific. Measurable, most people are tracking what they're doing already. Maybe not tracking the right things, but tracking nonetheless. But attainable and relevant are the ones that you see people tend to kind of go in a left field with. So let's kind of talk about an attainable versus non-obtainable goal. Trigger warning, because I've heard this said a lot, not just with you ladies, but throughout my career. This is super common. But if you said it, no, I'm not calling you out. It's so common, in fact, that it's almost impossible to avoid running into somebody who said something like this. So an example of a goal that's not exactly attainable is, oh man, I have a vacation in 2 weeks. I need to lose like 5 to 6 pounds before I go. No. And that's, see my little pup back there? That's the one that ran away. Unfortunately, 1 pound a week is what we consider the standard in fitness. 2 pounds a week if you are really dealing with kind of like moderate obesity, and anything in excess of that, you're dealing with obesity or morbid obesity, and which none of you ladies are dealing with. So unfortunately, 6 pounds in 2 weeks or 5 pounds in 2 weeks, the only way to really attain that particular goal is to do something like a crash diet, to Kim K it. Please don't Kim K it. If you know what I'm talking about, ignore it. And so here's the problem with setting a goal that's not really attainable, is you set this goal, right? And then you convince yourself you're kind of working hard towards this goal, but you're kind of just like working towards this goal, not being crazy specific, not crash dieting like Kim K, which is what would be necessary. And so then you get to the end of 2 weeks and you're like, oh, I only lost a pound or 2 pounds or whatever. And while that just might be kind of like, oh, I only lost a pound or whatever for you, really what ends up happening is that you end up setting up a cycle in your mind. And it's a subconscious cycle, but part of that cycle, the most detrimental part of that cycle, is the belief that you can't attain your goals even when you work hard. Your brain doesn't process that you didn't work as hard as you could have or do everything that you could have, because that's the story that we tell ourselves. I did everything. Hardly ever is that actually the case. And so when we do that, when we set these unrealistic goals and then we don't meet them and then we get down on ourselves for not meeting them, then the next time we set a goal, we have a lowered self-efficacy. We have a lower belief in our ability to actually obtain this goal. The attain thing is freaking me out. So I'm gonna switch between those two words the whole video. But we have a lower belief in our ability to obtain this goal. And so then that actually affects how hard we're willing to work towards that goal. Because there's already a preconceived notion that we're not gonna get there anyways. And so as human beings, we're wired for what's super easy. And so when you don't try your hardest and then you fail, you kind of have a fallback. You kind of have a safety net to be like, well, I didn't even really try that hard, or well, whatever, as opposed to the kind of devastating reality of, I gave this everything I had, I gave this my all, and I still didn't get there, and that's sad, right? We're kind of wired to avoid that sphere of emotions. So this cycle continues, and then we see it just get really nasty throughout. So we'll see it happen with our diets. I feel about diets, but like, I'll start on Monday. I blew it. It's Tuesday. I blew it. I'll start back over on Monday, or I just can't. And we kind of build up this narrative in our mind, and really it all started with this goal that wasn't obtainable to begin with. Had you said to yourself, I need to lose a pound or 2 before I go on vacation, you would have done it, and you would have been proud of yourself. And then you'd be like, you know what, if I can lose a pound or 2 in 2 weeks, in 6 weeks I want to try to lose 5 pounds, because that makes sense. And then now you're setting yourself up, because you're setting these realistic goals because you have an understanding of what that looks like. And then you're building up your self-confidence, your self-efficacy in reaching these goals because you've done it, right? There's a lot of things that we can do. If am fixing things around the house, when something breaks, I've got a relatively high confidence in that I can probably manage it, But if you put me out like on a ranch somewhere, tell me to lasso a horse, I've just never done that. And I am barely even gonna try, because I'm not gonna make myself look stupid. So avoiding that cycle is important. Now the second one is, and why do I keep blanking? Relevant, found it. So back to this vacation analogy. I need to lose 1 to 2 pounds before vacation. How relevant is that to your actual fitness goals, to your life, to your day-to-day? Is this something that is just weighing on you, no pun intended? Is this something that is just weighing on you so aggressively that it is incredibly relevant to your life? Or did you think about the fact that you're maybe going to put yourself in a bikini soon and you don't want that extra 5 pounds on you? So now you're just setting this kind of haphazard goal because you don't want to see what you've been seeing. It needs to matter in the scope of the long term. If it doesn't matter in the scope of the long term, your effort is going to be accordingly. Your effort's going to be short term. Your energy will be short term. Your motivation will be short term, and your determination will be nominal at best. So in setting your goals for this challenge, or we don't use that word, for this reset or long term, make sure that the goal is an attainable goal. I want to lose 10 pounds by December. Great. Why is that relevant to you? Maybe it's your blood pressure. Maybe your joints are not feeling great. Maybe just carrying the extra weight around and fitting in your clothes is really weighing on your self-confidence. Make sure that whatever that goal is attached to actually matters in your life, because if it doesn't, you won't work towards it for very long. So that's that. I'm going to email you guys. I am so excited to see you guys tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day. I could not be happier to be a mother in the phase of mothering that I'm in, surrounded by mothers in the phase of mothering that you guys are in. I am learning so much from you. I admire you. I think you guys are all absolutely incredible. And I hope that today or yesterday, if you're watching this late, whenever, I hope that your Mother's Day is absolutely incredible, because you deserve nothing less. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.